Yo, what's up YouTube? It's Edwin the Comic Jabroni coming at you. Today is the 11th of July. Yesterday was New Comic Book Day Wednesday. And Edwin picked up some pristine books, guys. So to find out what I picked up and to go over some reviews, you're just going to have to stay tuned, alright? See you in 10 seconds. Peace. Alright guys, welcome back. Edwin the Comic Jabroni coming at you. Like I said, it's the morning time here. By the time you watch this though, it'll be afternoon. So good morning, good afternoon, and good night. What movie is that from? Anyways, got my Vegeta shirt on. If you didn't know, Edwin the Comic Jabroni is into comic books, into Ninja Turtles, into whiskey, and into Dragon Ball Z. Hey, Vegeta, what's the scouter say about his power level? It's over 9,000! Love it, man. Anyways, so yesterday, New Comic Book Day, picked up 13, 14 books. All fabulous. I read through them. Absolutely loved them. We're going to start off with Independence, guys. Only got 3 books from Indies. You're going to be surprised what I picked up. All right, we're starting off Dynamite Entertainment. $6 Million Man. Written by Christopher Hastings. Artist is David Hahn. I've talked about this book in the past. This is issue number 5. This is the end of the story arc for this volume. 1 through 5. Absolutely enjoyed reading $6 Million Man. Like I've said, it's a book that doesn't take itself too seriously. It's got that comedic element in there. There's some action. It's exactly what you want out of a comic book that has its basis, in the 70s and 80s, right? Even 70s, right? $1 Million Man, 60s, 70s. It just doesn't take itself too seriously. So if you want to read a comic and just laugh and enjoy what you're reading, $6 Million Man, that is definitely up your alley then. If you haven't been picking it up, I wouldn't say to go pick this up because it is the end of the story arc, but starting with the next issue, you're going to be getting a new story, hopefully. I haven't seen anything that $6 Million Man is going to continue. I hope it doesn't end with issue number 5 because I would definitely love to continue to read that. So let's get into the next one, guys. All right, next up from Ahoy Comics. If you watched Buyer Pass on Tuesday, Perry Comics was talking about this issue. It's called Second Coming. It is written by Mark Russell and the artist is Richard Pace. So there was some controversy with this issue because it was supposed to be published by DC a few years ago, maybe 2 or 3 years ago. But there was a lot of controversy. A lot of these Bible belters, said blasphemy, blasphemers. How could you dare put God and Jesus Christ in one of your comic books with Superman? That's weird. Anyways, so they said, to hell with this, we're not doing it. So they dropped it, and they let anybody else who wanted it publish it. So Ahoy Comics came in, and they said, hey, we'll do it, who cares? They just changed, the Superman into this, I think his name is Sunburst. It's a funny read, guys. I mean, it takes you from when God created man, and got Adam and Eve, and it just tells its own story. And how he got bored and decided to hell with Earth and all the humans. I'm just going to let them do their own thing. And then his son, Jesus, said, well, let me go down there. Let me see what I can do. And he sends Jesus down there. And then I guess he's not paying attention. He looks back down. He's like, what the hell's going on? They're going to crucify him. And then he, dies. He comes back. He's like, you only lasted 33 years. Anyways, guys, again, doesn't take itself too seriously. I think it's hilarious. I hope you guys are able to find it because my comic shop only had 1 copy, and this is the B cover. There is an A cover for it. Perry Comics put me onto this. I'm really happy that I picked it up. I think it's hilarious. If you're, I'm not gonna say a holy roly, but if you're one of those, if you're somebody that likes to go to church and you're really religious and into the faith, it might not be the book for you. You might really be turned off to this, but for those of us that just want to read a book and laugh and, cut up, this is for you guys. So, anyways, I got one more book from Independence. We're going to get into it right now. All right, guys, from Dark Horse, this is Black Hammer, Justice League #1. This is going to be a mini series where you get the two worlds crossed over. Writer Jeff Lemire, artist Michael Walsh. This is the first time that I've delved into the Black Hammer universe. I had seen it previously, been told that it's an awesome read, and I never got into it. And I wish I would have, man, because I remember when Black Hammer #1 came out, and I saw it consistently on the shelf, right? That #1, it came out 1 week, and I probably saw it for like 2 or 3 weeks after that, still sitting on the shelf. I should have picked it up because that book kind of goes for a little bit of money now, but I heard it's a great read. So this is a perfect jumping on point. If you haven't been into Black Hammer before, jump into this because it kind of gives you a little bit of backstory. So if you haven't been following up or keeping up with Black Hammer, this is great because it gives you some backstory on those characters, and then you get the Justice League in there. And this is them swapping places. So the Black Hammer universe gets into Metropolis, in the DC Earth 1, I think that is, and then you get the DC Justice League guys jumping into wherever Black Hammer's from on this little farm that they're trying to get off of. Absolutely love it, man. I only got 3 indie books this week, guys, and this was definitely my indie read of the week. That Second Coming, a close second. I only got 3, so there was 1, 2, 3. All 3 of them were great, but Black Hammer Justice League, guys, I can't give it more than 2 thumbs up. I wish I could give it more than 2 thumbs up, guys, because it was awesome. I hope you were able to get out there and read it and pick it up. I couldn't get Reaver this week. My local comic shop did not have it, but I might be getting an A-OK from somebody special out there. He knows who he is. I saw Unearthed #1 from Image. Just didn't seem like my thing. I flipped through it. I don't know. I'll wait till I watch somebody else's video that does a review on it, see how it is. But nothing else really pulled at me. Go-Go Power Rangers, I kind of flipped through it. Didn't want it. Lola XOXO, which Perry was talking about. I said, I'll wait till, probably not my thing. I'll probably wait till never to pick it up. So that's it from Indies, guys. We're going to move into Marvel Comics. All right, guys. First book up from Marvel. You guys know it because I dropped a video yesterday about it. Quick 3-minute video about the spec value, maybe to be had because it is a misprint. This is Venom 16, written by Donny Cates, and the artist is Juan Gedeon. Juan Gedeon. Anyways, I dropped the video because this is a misprinted issue. They have come out since then, since I dropped my video, and said that they will do a second print where they're going to fix the whole captioning and the word bubbles that were missing, but they're not going to be recalling this. So this is out there. Go find it. They probably printed 60,000 of these books or so. So there's plenty to be had, guys. But what can I say? Donny Cates is back. This issue got a lot of flack for artwork inside. I took pictures of it, because Perry Comics, he didn't want to pick it up. He's not really a Marvel guy, but he said that he had heard that the artwork sucked. So I hadn't read it up until that point, but when I read it, I said, the artwork in this is not bad. I don't understand where people were coming from. I dug it. I like the story. Eddie Brock is back from the War of the Realms. He no longer has the symbiote, but in this issue, you see him with the symbiote. Donny Cates has come out and said that is his mind manifesting these images that he still has the symbiote. It's like when you lose somebody, when somebody in your life very special to you dies, or you had, somebody that leaves you and you still kind of hear their voice in your head. So that to me is like, wow, man, Donny Cates is really diving deep into this character and giving you some feels, man. I like it. This is an awesome story, guys. Go pick up Venom number 16. Let's move on to the next one. Next up, we got Thor, issue number 15, written by Jason Aaron. Artwork is done by Michael Del Mundo. This is the conclusion of the War of the Realms. All right, guys, if you know War of the Realms, at the very end of that, spoiler alert, very end of that, Thor becomes the All-Father, right? Odin, the All-Father, tells him that you are now king. You are Thor, the All-Father. I am no longer going to be that king. So this is kind of him going through the motions of figuring out who and what he's going to be and what kind of a king he's going to be. You also get Malekith, the Accursed, down in hell, being told what his punishment is going to be for eternity. I don't want to get into that because it's kind of a twist right? You think it's going to be one thing. He's going to be, you know, hating life for the rest of eternity, but something else happens, which it's kind of funny. I liked it. This issue should be read right after War of the Realms number 6 and before War of the Realms Omega number 1, which is the next issue I'm going to get into. Really like Thor. I think there's going to be one more issue after this, written by Jason Aaron, and then they're going to get into a new they're killing off Thor, like this series, and they're getting into a new series called King Thor, and it's going to be written by Jason Aaron. The artwork's going to be done by Isan Ribic, and that will be the end of their 7-year run on Thor, guys. So next issue is a good one to pick up, but King Thor, if you've been digging what Jason Aaron's been doing, I would pick that up as well, because that is going to be the end of his run on Thor. So let's get into the next one. All right, guys. So like I talked about with Thor, this is War of the Realms Omega. This should be the last book that you read if you've been into the War of the Realms, because this is a wrap-up of everything that's been going on. You get various writers and artists in this book, but there are 3 stories. Really 4, because the book starts off with Heimdall and Daredevil kind of wants to still be that god without fear. So Heimdall says, well, before I leave, let's take a look at what's transpired after we've defeated Malekith. So they go out and they look at 3 different stories. The first story has to do with Jane Foster. Guys, this is a key issue. Okay, key issue. Go pick up 1 copy, because this you get the first appearance of Jane Foster as the new Valkyrie. If you remember in War of the Realms, all the Valkyries died. There are no more Valkyries. But in this issue, Jane Foster, she takes up the realm of the Valkyrie. You get her first appearance, okay? After that, you get a story with Loki, and he is now the new king of all the frost giants. It's an okay story. I still think the first story was better. And then the third story has to do with Punisher, and now what's his role? He's going to go out and he wants to just kill some bad guys, but he wants to kill bad guys from these other realms. And then it gets back into Daredevil and Heimdall actually gives Daredevil these new weapons that are carved out from that world tree that grew out of the sun. So key issue because it has a new Valkyrie, and key issue because Daredevil gets a new weapon. I don't know how key that really is, but still, this is a book worth getting, guys. I absolutely enjoyed it. Let's get into the last book that I got from Marvel. All right, last book that I got from Marvel. This is Miles Morales Spider-Man number 8. Writer Saladin Ahmed, and the artist is Javi Garin. Absolutely love this cover. This really reminds me of that Nas cover art, or his the CD or cover art from way back in the day. I think Stay Puft was saying it was Illmatic, not Nosomatic. I can't remember, but this is awesome, guys. Miles Morales Spider-Man. I'm digging this character. I'm digging where they're going with Miles Morales. I like this Spider-Man story better than I like the Amazing Spider-Man story. And I know a lot of people that say the same thing. This is, again, a key issue because you get the first appearance of these this new organization. And in this story, Miles Morales has been abducted and now he's being tortured. And tortured to the point where all they're really trying to find out is what is the extent of Miles Morales' powers as Spider-Man. I don't want to get into it too much. I dig in the artwork. It has a lot of black bordering around, and it kind of makes you feel just like Miles is because he's being tortured and he's being held down captive. So with the black bordering, you kind of feel the same way that you're being held down and captive to just reading these panels. I don't exactly know how to explain it any better than that, but it is a fantastic read. You dig it? So that's it from Indies. That's it from Marvel. You know what we got left, guys? DC. All right, guys, DC. You absolutely know I'm a huge fan of DC. First book up, Young Justice, number 7, written by Brian Michael Bendis. Artwork is done by John Timms. Gotta say that out of all the books that were written by Bendis this week, because there are like 3 or 4 of them, this is probably one of my favorites. Young Justice, they have defeated everything, that dark opal that was going on in Gem World, and now they've been banished to the multiverse. right? Not to their Earth, but they have been banished to different Earths, so they're flying around trying to find their way back to their home, but they're hitting up different Earths. What I dug about it is they hit up Earths that we've read about before, right? There's a Captain Carrot Earth, which we've read about. They get to the Kingdom Come Earth, right? If you've read Kingdom Come, you absolutely know how amazing that story is, and it's drawn by Alex Ross. After that, doesn't really tell you where they're at. You get a glimpse of the Earth that they're at, but you don't exactly know if this is their Earth or not. I don't think it is. Young Justice, I'm digging it. Guys, be on the lookout because, what is it called? Be on the lookout? BOLO? Because Naomi's going to be joining Young Justice at some point. So if you haven't been picking up Young Justice, I would recommend picking up issue 8, 9, and 10. Because at some point she's going to make her appearance. And that's going to be a key issue. There are going to be people jumping all over because what Naomi's been doing to the spec market since she came out in January. Dig it? So let's get into the next book from DC. Alright, next up we got Batman Universe #1. Another book written by Brian Michael Bendis. Artwork is done by Nick Darrington. This is a brand new story. It's got the Riddler in there. It's got Deathstroke in there. Perry Comics, it's got Deathstroke in there. Only thing I didn't like was on Midtown they showed a different cover than what they have here. Which, you know, I'm not totally hating on the cover art for this, but if you would have seen what the cover was supposed to look like, then you'd hate on this cover. Digging it. It's just a little bit of detective work as always. I'm a Batman fan and I want detective work from the world's greatest detective. Dig it? So, I'm liking it. Don't want to give you too much of the story. If you're a Batman fan, you're going to be picking up Batman Universe #1. I'm definitely going to be keeping up with it. I like where they're going. I like how you think Riddler is the main bad guy and he's really in charge of things, but he's not. And you also get an appearance by Jenny Hex. Do you know that's going to be Jonah Hex's great-granddaughter? So, where's this story going to go? Why is Batman meeting up with Jenny Hex? I don't know, guys, but I'm digging it. Flash 74, written by Josh Williamson. Artwork is done by Howard Porter. This is part 4 of the Year 1 storyline with Flash. You get a really young Flash because it's a Year 1 story. You get the older Flash that's from the future in here. You get this new bad guy, the Turtle, who's trying to just take over the multiverse. It seems like they keep talking about how he's going to destroy the multiverse. Guys, I've been talking about it since the part 1 of Year 1. This is a great jumping on point. You get that very beginning of the Flash. You get him, you know, starting to build up that speed and starting to figure out what his powers are. Absolutely love it, guys. I can't tell you anymore. I think there's going to be one more issue left, and it's called Death. The Death of Flash? No way. Naomi #6. This is the last issue in this first 6-part miniseries of Naomi. Another one written by Brian Michael Bendis. That's the 3rd book this week, guys. Artwork is done by Jamal Campbell. As always, the artwork has been supreme since issue #1. But what I can say about the story is it was good, but not as great as those first few issues where we really didn't know who Naomi was. Now we're starting to get to know who she is, and in this issue we get the first appearance of the big bad guy. But what else do we get? We get to see her homeworld. We get to see her going to her homeworld. You get a first appearance of a few other people in this who might seem like they're a big deal in the life of Naomi. So guys, go pick up Naomi #6. She's gonna have a new volume coming out because at the very spoiler alert again, at the end of this it talks about Naomi 2, which is gonna be volume 2, guys. So, all right, guys, we're almost done. Event Leviathan #2, another one written by Brian Michael Bendis. 1, 2, 3, 4. What? 4 books by Brian Michael Bendis. Artwork is done by Alex Maleev. Event Leviathan. You got all the secret spy organizations being taken out by this guy named Leviathan. We don't know who it is, but in this issue, you get a great conversation between Batman and Red Hood. Because Batman believes that it's Red Hood who is this Leviathan. If you've been reading Teen Titans, you know that Damian Wayne also believes that Red Hood has something to do with this guy, the Other, and Leviathan. Awesome story. This is going to be detective work throughout. I love how Batman is playing a main part in this. Lois Lane is in there. Amanda Waller is going to be coming soon. Absolutely digging it, guys. So let's get into the next part. All right, guys, next up, Detective Comics issue 1007. This is the B cover, variant cover done by Dan Quintana, written by Peter Tomasi. Kyle Holtz is the artist. This, last issue and this issue were a quick 2-issue little series, story arc, featuring the Spectre. Wasn't my favorite. The artwork was pretty subpar. I'm not digging it, but I will tell you this. The next issue is going to be huge because at the end of this, you get a little teaser that the Joker is coming back. So what's Detective Comics and the Joker gonna have to do? What's going to happen? Guys, be on the lookout. Be ready to pick up the next issue Detective Comics. This one though, wasn't that great. Red Hood Outlaw, number 36. This is the B cover. It is that hard cardstock cover drawn by Yasmin Putri. This is the end of the story arc where Red Hood had the Penguin tied up and imprisoned inside of his own casino. This issue, you get the ending of it. Penguin does not know that Jason Todd and Red Hood are the same person, but this is all part of that Year of the Villain and the offer. You see at the bottom it says the offer because in a lot of these books at the very end, Lex Luthor, this new resurrected Lex Luthor, is coming to a lot of these villains and giving them an offer. You don't know what the offer is, but it's gonna be something big. So at the end of this, Red Hood gets an offer from Lex Luthor. So does this have to tie in with Event Leviathan? And is Red Hood really that Leviathan character, or the other that Damian Wayne has been on the search for in Teen Titans? I'm not exactly sure. I hope so. I hope Red Hood has to do with all of this. Something there. So, Red Hood, absolutely digging it. I wasn't a fan of his new costume, but I'm slowly but surely, coming around to it. Really reminds me of, Scorpion and Sub-Zero from Mortal Kombat, guys. So, got one book left. Let's get down to it. Last up, Batman the Outsiders, number 3. This is, again, the B cover, drawn by Jay Anacleto. It is written by Brian Hill. Artist inside is Dexter Soy. The artwork is amazing. I am going to go and look for more books drawn by this Dexter Soy. Because like I said in issue number 2, this is like an anime on pages, like in a comic book. But it's not a manga. It's not a manga to me. It really is like I am reading an animated movie, man. The artwork is just phenomenal. Again, you get Lex Luthor at the end giving an offer, this time to Ra's al Ghul. So what's going on, man, with this Year of the Villain and Event Leviathan and everything that's going on in DC? It feels like there's so much, but I think they're going to be coming together at some point. Batman and the Outsiders, number 3. I dig this series. I absolutely love it. I think that this, to me, was the read of the week for DC, guys. So, that's my new comic book day picks and review. I apologize for being so long. Anyways, guys, I'm Edwin the Comic Jabroni. Thanks for watching. If this is your first time watching one of my videos, think about hitting that subscribe button. I'm dropping videos every week, 2 to 3 videos. Got spec videos, got Nintendo videos, retro game videos, got toy videos, comic book videos. Guys, I got everything for your pop culture needs. So, until next time, guys, take it easy. Edwin the Comic Jabroni out.